Imagine you are walking home after a day in the church and you just feel spiritually uplifted. And all of a sudden, the police stops you and asks you for your ID. You show it to them, and regardless of this, they take you into their vehicle, they start beating you up, and they imprison you. They torture you, and the most dramatic thing you remember is you being tied up 10 hours hanging from the ceiling, and that for a whole month. I know it sounds unrealistic, but this is Alice Dayera reality. She is a Syrian refugee. Syrian refugees have been in a civil war for 9 years. This past March 15 was the 9-year mark. Now, Syrian refugees have had a very hard time. In Allah's words, she says, "It was hell. I would rather kill myself than go back to living the way I lived in those prisons." A little bit of background about Syrian people is that President al-Assad has been ruling for 18 years, and it's been terrible. However, they had a glimpse of hope when Egypt had their own civil war and they were able to make the president go away from the power. They started with peaceful protests. One of them, and the first one, was 15 boys. They graffitied a wall against the government, but this turned out to be a very drastic change of events when the president sent torture the 15 boys, and one of them being 13 years old, he was tortured to death. Now, this is the reality of Syrian people. Because of this, 500,000 people have been killed so far. They have been forced to leave their country. It's not even that they want to. They've been forced to do that because of abductions, because of torture, because of killings. And many of them went to Egypt, that is at the north part of the country. However, they started receiving millions, that Egypt very soon found themselves in a very tricky situation. So they started fleeing to Lebanon, Turkey, and Jordan. Now, United States, it's always been a country that has welcomed refugees. And we know that the United States is the first world potence regarding power. And they have this amazing refugee plan. However, since the Obama administration, only 40,000 refugees were admitted, and this represents 0.0007% of the United States population. It's literally nothing. Now, this is the reality of Syrians. And what I'm inviting you to do now and to reflect is, what if we were to grant asylum to the Syrian refugees? Now, you might think, well, if we were to receive millions of Syrian refugees, our country, the United States, will find itself in a very tricky situation. But let me tell you something. Syrian people, most of them are very highly educated people. They have masters, they have a doctor's degree, and they had their own businesses. And it's been proven that the ones that have come to this country, they have had their own businesses and they have even provided jobs. So they are good for the economy. Culture, these people are very inviting and they're very loving and grateful people towards the American citizens. And if one of the worries that Americans could have is that they want to stay forever, let me just say that even when they have this very awful situation in their homes, they want to go back home. And personally, I understand. This is a great country and has given me a lot. And I have seen so many wonderful things. However, that does not take away the need that I have to go and be in my country, in my home. So I understand what they are going through. they do want to go back, and some of them have, but the government has taken retaliation and they had to flee again. So it's not until the country is settled and in a peace established that they can actually do something. But in the meantime, there's one thing you can do. And there's a website. It's called worldvision.org. This is the only site that is updated to the year 2019. Now, they are not even asking you for your money. The first thing they ask of you is to pray for them, pray for these people. And then if you want to do more, you can give. If you have resources, you can give money, you can give your time. But mainly, just open your mind, change your mindset, and probably if your concerns are, we have way too many people coming, we have, no, I don't want my tax money to go to this. Let me just say, it is not gonna be a waste. Because I do know that as soon as we learn about their culture, as soon as we know about their lives, you will have a change of heart, as I have had while investigating this. And these are her words again, of Allah's words. It was hell. I would rather kill myself than go back to living the way I lived in those prisons. I cannot even imagine. And luckily, we don't even have to imagine, because the reality of this country is very different. We are very privileged. And this country always takes pride to say, this is the land of the free. Thank you.